Here at Every Woman, we want to support all women, and there's so many out there that feel like the other women, and we want to give them a voice. Today we have Lisa here, and she's going to tell her story about coming out as a lesbian, and I know that's a really tough thing to do. So Lisa, have you always known you were gay?
I did. I always knew, I always had a feeling, but growing up it was just really hard to come to terms with it myself, and I would always suppress it, and if anything came up, like me having crushes on my friends or anything, I would just be like, no, it's not possible, and I would just push it aside.
When you say you always knew, was that from being really little?
When I hit puberty, it was more like I didn't know exactly I was gay. I didn't know that was what it was. I knew I was different. Because all my friends were always talking about how they have a crush on this boy, or they loved kissing this boy, or they have a crush on NSYNC or Backstreet Boys, and I'm just like, ew. Oh yeah, me too. I don't get it, but yeah.
And two, people progress at different stages.
Oh, absolutely.
You know, anyway, so that's got to be a really difficult little spot to be in.
Yeah, and I always would say that I just wasn't as mature as my friends. I would always say that I wasn't ready. Yeah. Exactly.
But I mean, even at that point, would you be interested in more the girl groups or girls?
Not even necessarily. I just had a really strong connection with my friends, and I had a really strong connection just when my girlfriends were going out and dating boys and getting boyfriends. I'd be like, well, why are you choosing them over me? I don't understand. And I still didn't understand why I was like that, but I just thought that sort of everyone was like that. I was just more vocal about it.
But you still dated when you were younger.
Yeah. I kissed the first boy when I was 15, and that was, I mean, I went home and my sister was like, was it great? Was it awesome? And I was like, yeah. No. And then I dated the captain of the football team in high school, which is every girl's dream, and it just, I would kiss him and I would dread it. I would want him to say goodbye really fast just to get him out, but then I knew I would have to kiss him, so I'm like, just stay a little longer.
So did he know?
Really hard.
He never brought anything up. I just think that he thought that I was straight edge, like I wanted to just take it slow. But it was just something, every time he would come over, I would never go over his house because I didn't want it to be in his control.
So this kind of was all consuming in all areas of your life, all the social and probably during school and all of that. So that could be really, really tough.
Mm-hmm. It was.
And what about your family? I mean, did they kind of have an idea that something was going on or something was different?
Yes, but it wasn't really talked about either. My aunt, when I was 13, went to my mother and just asked if I was gay, and my mom right away was, no, she's not. She's just.
But why at 13? I mean, anybody could not be into dating.
I have no idea exactly why or what made her ask that. But it was at Thanksgiving, and I think it was just because they always would ask me if I was interested in boys, or I never talked about boys, and my sister always did, and I just stayed quiet and would talk about sports or talk about school. So.
Well, we have so much more to ask you about your story, so we're going to come back and get back more to how you finally did come out. Yeah. So don't go away. We'll be back with more.